Hi, good morning. This is attorney Amy Rebecca here at Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group, and this is Wills on Wednesday. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about the difference between a living trust and a testamentary trust. Now, these two types of trusts are very common in our practice, and just to be really clear, in our estate planning law firm, we do not advocate that everyone should have a trust. It's just not appropriate for everyone. Really, what goes into the decision making of not just should you have a trust, but if you should have a trust or want to have a trust, what type of trust makes sense for you? And there are several factors and discussion points that go into whether or not a trust makes sense for you and your family and your estate plan. We're going to get into that in a different series, but I just wanted to make that really clear. Trusts don't make sense for everyone, and even if maybe it's not 100% making sense for you and your family today, but you want one, there is also a discussion to be had on the type of trust that makes sense for you. And today, we're going to talk about two types of those trusts, just so that you can understand the difference between the two. First, we're going to talk about a living trust. And then we're going to talk about a testamentary trust. And what are the differences, and generally, what are the pros and cons about each of these types of trusts. But first, I wanted to just thank you for joining us today and tell you a little bit about Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group. Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group is based in Alpharetta, Georgia. That's north of Atlanta in the metropolitan northern suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. And we help women protect who they love the most. And we do that through helping women put estate plans in place that protect themselves, protect their family, and protect the assets that they've worked so hard during their lifetime to gather together. And most importantly, we help women protect their choices so that their choices are heard in the event that they are injured, ill, and cannot advocate on their own behalf. So thank you for joining us today. So the two types of trust that we're going to talk about are living and testamentary. First, let's go to a living trust. So a living trust is built during your lifetime. So you, many times referred to as the grantor, who is our client, the grantor is the builder of that trust. And they build it during your lifetime. So you actually see the trust get built. And think of that trust like a box. So you are the builder of a box during your lifetime. Again, many decisions go into what kind of features that box has, what makes the most sense for you, what makes the most sense for your family, and what makes the most sense for the types of things that you own or you may own during your lifetime. So this is a build it during your lifetime type of box. The other type of box that we're going to talk about today is something that you ask to be built after you pass away. So this is called a testamentary trust. So in your last will and testament, you have a will plus instructions for a box to be built. And so that is really the difference between the two types of trusts. And I just briefly mentioned that trusts can be thought of like a box. A box built for the benefit of either you or the benefit of another individual. And whatever you put inside this box, whether you build the box during your lifetime, a living trust, or you ask to be built after you pass away, a testamentary trust, whichever type of box that you have, there will be things put inside the box. Some things that can be put inside this box are your home, real estate, bank accounts, personal items such as clothing, jewelry, and other types of personal items. So those are the three main types of things that generally go into these boxes. And again, What we're talking about today is the difference between two types of boxes: a living box or a living trust, something you build during your lifetime and you watch it get built, and a testamentary trust, which is a box that you ask to get built in your last will and testament after you pass away. So those are the two main, or the two types of boxes that we're going to discuss today, and the differences between the two. There are pros and cons to both types of boxes, and what those pros and cons are may very well depend on your comfort level. So if you want to watch the box get built during your lifetime, many times someone who feels strongly about that wants to have a living trust put in place because they want to have the peace of mind and comfort that the box was built during their lifetime. They can watch it get built and they have the peace of mind that it was built correctly. Now, sometimes, however, that might not make sense depending on what you own. And so sometimes a person may choose a testamentary trust because right now they don't have a great deal to put inside the box. But if they passed away, there would be a great deal to put inside of a box. And so sometimes, if that's the case for you and your family, a testamentary trust might make more sense. So again, the discussion of why and the pros and cons around whether you choose a living trust or a testamentary trust will in large part center upon what you want to have happen for your family in the event that you are injured, ill, or pass away, and what you have or may have at the time that you become injured, ill, or you pass away. Thank you for joining us today. If you have more questions about whether a living trust or a testamentary trust makes sense for you and your family, then reach out to us here at Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group. We'd love to help you answer that question, and we'd love to help you get one of these types of trusts or another type of estate plan in place so that you can protect your family. Reach out to us at 770-508-6525 and schedule a complimentary consultation with one of our team members. Thank you for joining us.